Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. So today we continue to discuss about the Eightfold Paths. The third one, the right action. Let me show you the screen. And last time we discussed that as a Buddhist, we need to restrain ourselves from killing others. And of course, there's some exceptions, like soldiers may need to serve the country to protect the citizen and the other innocent people. They have to uphold their dignity, not to kill others freely. So that's what we discussed last time. And also today, I'd like to discuss further that, of course, there's controversial matters or issues that happen nowadays regarding about the gun control. In this country, we're free to keep guns at home so that we can protect ourselves and our family members. But still, there is some problems that we need to put into considerations, like how we put the guns away from the children, or how we keep the guns at home safely. And also when we are angry, when we have some kind of emotional problems, if somehow the guns is within our reach, it's easy for us to use those guns to harm others. And of course, sometimes we cannot control our emotions. That's why if it's within our reach and our abilities at that moment, the moment that we so angry, the moment that we hate someone so much, that no matter what happening, we would not care much about the result. So we may use that kind of weapons to harm others. So again, there's some extreme cases that we need to recognize before we keep guns at home. Of course, when we keep guns at home, we protect ourselves, our family members, and others, but still, there's some imminent problems that may occur in some circumstances. And according to Buddhists, it's better to stay away from those weapons because as much we can have easy access to the weapons, and there's a means for us to harm others if we cannot control our mind at that instant. And of course, we have to pay for the heavy price later on. So let me show you these video clips that relate to the mass students that bring the new about the gun control debate.
America has been struck with 2 mass shootings in less than 24 hours, the latest toll in its long relationship with firearms. At least one is being treated as domestic terrorism, an attack by a white supremacist. On Sunday, a young man killed 9 people in Dayton, Ohio. Dozens more were injured. The shooter was wearing body armor and used a military-style rifle. Police shot him dead in less than a minute after he opened fire. The police have identified and named the gunman. The shooting took place in a popular bar district. Among the dead are the shooter's sister and her boyfriend. Police say the shooter had little to no adult history with the law, only a few traffic violations.
I ain't gonna never get those sounds out my head of just the gunshots and then the people screaming and the trampling, just the fear, just really seeing fear like that. I've never been in nothing like that where I just see a group of people so fear.
The gunman was able to shoot and kill 9 people in a small amount of time because these rifles are so deadly. Even short bursts of fire can kill many.
I don't mean to scare people, but frankly, I mean, we're in a situation now in our country that you're really, these are so random. There's no place that, you could say, oh, I just don't want to ever go anywhere. So as far as the safety of the district, it's one of the safest places.
These shootings are sure to reopen America's debate about gun regulation. Democrats have called for greater oversight of the sale of these types of rifles, something opposed by most Republicans. US President Donald Trump had this reaction to the mass shooting.
Hate has no place in our country, and we're going to take care of it. But this is also a mental illness problem. If you look at both of these cases, this is mental illness.
The president is expected to address the nation on Monday morning.
Okay, anyway, so you see that in this country we have all kinds of children around, and when the problem is that we keep guns at home, and if something that go against our will, somehow we have tendency to pull out the guns, and we may not think much before we trigger, we pull the triggers. So again, it's just so important for us to recognize as when we shoot someone, either they may be injured or they may be die. So we may take away a life of a person. So that is why in Buddhist view, of course, we understand that we are anti-gun, but still we need to reconsider how we keep weapons at home, and sometimes we need to understand that even some children, if they have access to the weapons, they may shoot themselves or friends and whoever in the house accidentally. So again, there's many things that we need to put into considerations before keeping guns or weapons at home. So depend upon the needs, but still in Buddhist view, it may not be necessary to keep weapons at home. Nothing about carrying it on the road, unless we serve in the militaries. We need to be responsible to protect other people and so forth. But anyway, so in Buddhist view, it's better not to keep guns around, of any kind of weapons around. Not talking about selling weapons. So that is one of the things that we may need to understand. And when we talk about the right livelihood, we will discuss that further too. So the Buddha lists out 7 weapons, trading weapons, one of the wrong occupations that we need to stay away because it's endanger our lives and others. So that's why we need to recognize that any device, any weapons, any nets, traps, and so forth that may be harmful for ourselves and others, we need to put them away. Because with the compassionate mind, we would not use those weapons or even device to harm others. So that's why that is belong to the right action. And the next one I want to bring up is that in that particular sutra, the Brahmana Sutra, the Buddha also mentioned that even our parents, our family members were killed by others, we're not supposed to take any kind of revenge because if we take a kind of revenge, we degrade the cycle of hatred. That means someone kill our family members, and we try to find ways to kill them back. That's a cycle, and their children, or grandchildren, whoever on their side could find a way to take that revenge. And we have seen in the social medias, the movies, and so forth, there's some kind of revenge that people advocate, especially in some kung fu movies, is mentioned in some story like that. So let's say when there's some children, they were young, and somehow their parents, their siblings, and whoever relate a loved one to them that have been killed by others. And so when they were still young, they don't know how to do things. But when they get older, they will try, let's say, learning kung fu and so forth, so that they would one day to find that person, the person that harmed their loved one, so that they would kill or harm the person to take the revenge. But in Buddhism, that is not encouraged, because again, that creates the cycle of hatred and karmas. So only compassion could transform the anger. If we pay back the anger with anger, there's no end. Like if we use fire, there's no way for us to stop fire by using the fire. We need to use the water of compassion to extinguish the fire. So up to the points in this particular sutra, they say that even someone kill our parents, we're not supposed to find some ways to take the revenge because we need to use compassion instead of anger. But of course, there's no way for us to be still when our loved ones were harmed by others. But no matter what, if we abide with this principle, we would not harm others. Of course, sometimes people may find some way to take the revenge in a peaceful means. Uh, and of course, as long as we don't harm anyone else, uh, it's much better than to take revenge violently, physically. So let me show you this video clips that show how this gentleman took revenge of his fancy killing him.
The union of two people whom I have watched grow from kids into responsible young adults. Love is a spiritual gift based on a foundation of trust. It is trust that will bind these two hearts. In the presence of God and family and friends, it is time we move forward.
Excuse me, Father, I know this is a bit untraditional, but I would like to take a moment to say something about my beautiful bride. It just can't wait. I can't think of anything that I want more than to share my life with you. From the first moment I met you, I knew that we were soulmates. Just this morning, my mom was commenting on how special our relationship is.
Where the hell is he going with this?
We have so much to look forward to in this life. Finding a house, finishing school, raising our beautiful children, and exploring all that life has to offer together. I have tried for so long to find the words to describe my feelings for you. An impossible task until this very moment.
Honey, what are you doing?
Kate, I have decided to give our family and friends a gift. Everyone under your seats is an envelope. Would you open it, please? Under there, Kate, is a gift I want them all to have. Travis, there's one for you.
Since it's inappropriate word, so I don't want to turn on. So you see, this the broom. He found out his bride have some affair with his friends, and so somehow on this particular wedding ceremony, he exposed this, and he walked away from the wedding ceremony. So anyway, so again, sometimes people cannot control the anger and emotion, especially if it's related to their personal life, like this story. So of course, ideally, in Buddhist view, it's better not to take any revenge, but still, as humans, sometimes people cannot hold up. So in this particular story, so the man tried to revenge in the public how his future wife, bride, tried to cheat him in a peaceful means. But anyway, so that is the thing that common for people out there. But anyway, no matter what, we need to remain peaceful and calm in any circumstances, especially if we were harmed, if we were injured by someone else, and of course, when it affects to our family members, our parents, our spouse, our children. So no matter what, it's better for us to remain calm, not to take any revenge. So that is the thing that the Buddha reminds us. All right, so the next one I want to mention is that in that particular sutra, because it relates to the right action, the Buddha mentioned that as Buddhists, we're not supposed to burn the forest in the mountain, in plains, and so forth, because if we try to burn things down, it would be damage to our properties, to other people's properties, or may endanger other people's properties and their life too. So again, we're not supposed to burn any dwelling, any building, house, not talking about the forest, and because we know that in forests all kind of things there, the wildlife there, all kind of animals, sentient beings are living over there. So if we start a fire, we can harm and kill them. So that's why the Buddha reminds the Buddhists that we're not supposed to burn down the fire unless, if necessary, we can control the fire that we burn outdoor. Of course, in every communities subdivision, they have some rules regulations for us to burn the fire. So some subdivisions have some strict rules on burning the wood. Of course, if we live in the rural area, that's not have many houses around. We may burn things like the leaves and the wood, but still it should be controllable. Otherwise, if it spread everywhere, it may endanger our people's lives and properties. So we know that in this country, especially in California, there's many kind of wildfire happening almost every year because of the dry climates over there. So if we can start a small fire, it may burn the whole forest, whole communities, subdivision. And so that's why we need to be careful when we start the fire outdoor. So let me share with you one video clips about the police address 13 people that relate to the wildfire.
Returning home to the Estacada area, the evacuation level went from level 3 down to 2, and the sheriff's office has been busy patrolling the area and arresting people. KTW's Pat Doris talked to Sheriff Craig Roberts. Unfortunately, Pat, some see an opportunity when people have to leave their homes.
Well, that's right, Craig. The reason they don't want to leave their homes is because they're worried the crooks will come in behind them and rip them off. In some cases, they were right. That led to some very busy days and nights behind the barricades in the closed areas. When the Riverside fire came roaring down out of the mountains towards the towns of Estacada and Colton and others, people got out because they could feel the danger, but some came in behind. Clackamas County deputies made this arrest in an evacuation zone after a suspicious car was spotted there. They found meth and burglar tools and arrested 2 men. Sheriff Craig Roberts told me with evacuations and safety and protecting homes, it's been a very full couple of weeks.
I would sum it up as overwhelmingly busy in countless areas. And I would just say we're just staying slightly ahead of things, that amazing people are coming together.
The Sheriff's Office reports 13 arrests on level 2 and 3 evacuation zones, and those charges include burglary, possession of burglary tools, and theft. At the same time, the sheriff said he has 2 cases that detectives are investigating where sort of citizen patrols have stopped people at gunpoint and demanded to know who they are. That's illegal too. The sheriff says if that happened to you in Clackamas County, call 911. They want to hear from more people.
In this story, we see that they take advantage of the Wi-Fi to sneak in other people's house to steal things. So that's why they were caught here. So anyway, so we know that when the fire start, it may burn down things. Of course, it starts with this little one, like when we burn the piece of paper, when we burn a piece of wood. So again, no matter what, we have to be careful with the fire. So when we do things, we need to be careful, even at home. We need to be careful with our stove and things around. Electricity. So again, when we deal with fire, all kinds of things may happen. Of course, we use fire to cook food and warm our house. But if we don't know how to use or misuse them, again, is the source of damage. I saw disaster, not talking about burning leaves outdoors in the summer times, especially in the wood or in the forest. So again, that's just the Buddha teaching that we need to be careful. And the next next item I want to discuss is it relates to the action too, but of course it may relate to dry livelihood. But still, the Buddha reminds us that we are not supposed to be ambassador during the war. We're not supposed to carry the message back and forth between the two parties that are in fightings, because if we involve in a kind of dispute, a war, a fighting, we may be responsible for any of the karmas that may happen. So let's say if two parties they have the hot arguments, and if we involve in that, of course, if the fight break out and this happen to other people that they were injured or killed and so forth, we have to be responsible too. So the Buddha said that it's better not involve as a middleman between the two parties, not talking about two nations, communities, and so forth that try to fight or try to kill each other. In any circumstances, it's better to step away from those situations that we don't want to put ourselves as a middleman. And one thing I want to mention too, that's one particular precept or guidelines. The Buddha mentioned that we're not supposed to go some place that we know it may endanger our lives. So let's say if we go to the place that is considered the war zones, that's where people were fighting, shooting each other. Yes, if we enter or go to that place, it may endanger our life while people were shooting each other. Or if we go to the forest, and we know that there's all kind of dangerous, poisons, animals out there. So again, as the things that Buddha reminds us that stay away from those danger places. So again, those are the preventive precepts or guidelines for us to stay away from the crisis that may happen to our life. So in general, regarding about this killing karma, we have discussed in a broader sense that we're not supposed to kill, we're not supposed to encourage other people to kill, we're not supposed to praise other people to kill, and we're not supposed to use any means to kill. So on the top that we're not supposed to keep the weapons device that may endanger our lives and others, and we're not supposed to go someplace that even endanger our life too. So this kind of guidelines is help us to keep us safe and other people safe too. Okay, so that's the thing we discussed about. And in Buddhist view, what we call we need to have the non-violent lives. We need to abide with that kind of lifestyle, so that no matter what, we would not harm others. Even if someone try to harm us, even if someone try to harm our family members, we're not supposed to take any revenge. So no matter what, if we follow with that approach, definitely we would have a peaceful life. Of course, it's not easy in this modern age, but still, if we spread that type of non-violent attitude and approach, a principle to other people, if we encourage our family members, our communities, and our society to follow that type of non-violent uh, approach, so our families, our communities, and our society would be peaceful, um, and there's not much fighting around, and not much harmful things happening to us and to other people. So that's why we need to make that kind of commitment that we're not supposed to harm ourselves and harm others, so that we could enjoy lives. So again, let's just talk about the killing. Now, the next items I want to discuss is the um, taking things that's not for ourselves. So we have to be generous to other people. So whichever thing we have, we need to share with other people. So let me show you one video clips that may relate to the student aspect that most of us could recognize as a proper person would not engage in any kind of uh, student karma.
Emerging of a group of thieves stealing thousands of dollars worth of merchandise from a Pleasant Prairie outlet store.
It's all done in plain sight. This video is pretty wild. Casey Cronus is live with a look at this unbelievable robbery.
Yeah, good evening, you guys. Surveillance video from inside the store captures the entire theft on camera. The robbers doing seemingly nothing to hide their identities. Wild surveillance video from inside the North Face store at the Pleasant Prairie Premium Outlets shows what police are calling a mob shoplifting incident.
They were in and out of that store within 30 seconds.
Police say the heist went down like this. Monday night, just before 8 o'clock, 10 men swarmed the store, 9 of them grabbing clothes off the racks, sprinting out, and making off with more than $30,000 worth of merchandise.
They had planned this out.
Pleasant Prairie Police Chief David Smetana says the thieves knew exactly what they were after.
This isn't a group of 10 people walking by a store coming up with an idea and they hit it.
He says they are investigating whether this group is linked to other similar robberies in the area. Chief Smetana says the men did not approach any of the North Face employees, who called the police right away.
Their main objective was not to confront anybody. It was to grab as much product as they could in the shortest time frame they had and exit the store.
Although the men were caught on camera, they were gone before police could catch them.
We're depending on some video footage from inside the store and outside the store to try to help us identify the offender shot.
Okay, anyway, you see here that a group of men rushed to the store and stole the merchandise, which may have the values of more than $30,000. So again, we know that when we study about the non-killing karma in the drug actions, so when we recognize that if we kill others, that means we terminate their lives completely. That means they don't have any chance to live. So that's why, as a Buddhist, we need to do the reverse way. That means we need to be kind to others. That's what we want. Everyone wants to live. No one wants to die. Everyone to be cared for. Everyone wants the love from others. So if we want to have dozens, we have to share dozens to others. So, but if we try to terminate or kill others, that's go against the law of karma, and eventually we have to pay for that price. And when we talk about the student, so in Buddhist view, when someone steals other people's properties, it may not endanger their lives, but it may affect to their lives too. So for example, for the owners of that stores, and they're supposed to sell those merchandise so that they can survive. But what happened if those men came and took everything away from that store, and the owners could not have anything to sell, so that's endanger their lives too. So in the way that if we still take away from things that we're not supposed to take, or not, things that not belong to us, in the indirect way, we endanger our people's lives because they may depend upon those merchandise, they may depend upon those foods, they may depend upon those items to survive. For example, let's say if a elderly person carry oxygen bottles, and that is the life source of that elderly person. If someone come up and take away that light source, the oxygen model, it endanger that every person on the spot. So anyway, so in Buddhist view, we not supposed to take things that not belong to us. So that's why, again, in the Buddhist Sutra, especially the Brahmana Sutra, that is the guidelines for the one who practice Buddhist conduct. It provide the guidelines that as Buddhists, we're not supposed to steal or encourage other people to steal, because if we steal, definitely we have to pay for the price later, either stay in the jails, have to fight, and if we don't steal but we encourage other people, if we show them how to steal, if we tell them how to steal for us or for them, again, we involve in that kind of karma. So it's just in common sense. When people got caught, the judge would base on our intention. If we have intention to steal, whether we steal by ourselves or tell other people to steal for us, would be not much difference. So, of course, it may come to the argument that, oh, I don't steal from me. I can encourage other people to steal for themselves. Again, this may create the problems for us, because if we have the kind of encouragement, those people will step out to steal other people's properties, and we have to be responsible for that kind of encouragement. So let me tell you one example. Let's say if someone open a company's business that file income tax return, and yeah, they may charge the service whoever come to get help from them to file income tax. But if they want to have more customers, so they may manipulate the numbers and get the money back for the customers in the illegal way. So for those that file income tax on behalf of the customers, yes, they may say, oh, I don't involve with those monies. The people, my customer, get that kind of profit. But again, there's the one that represent the customer to file income tax. They have to be responsible for things that they write out there, even they don't get the benefit or any amount of monies that the customer could get at the end of the year, but still they involved in the fraud. So again, that is something that we need to pay attention on. And I think the Buddha said that steal by experience mean that mean we use some ways to steal, like people hack into other people's computers to steal personal ID, credit cards numbers, or bank accounts numbers, and so forth. And so they may not steal the money directly from the victims, but they may steal the personal ID, social security, the bank account numbers, credit card number, and so forth. Those the things that belong to others, but they still do those things so that eventually they will get the money from those victims. So since time is up, let me stop here today, and next time I can discuss more about this kind of guidelines that the Buddha lists out, so for us to follow, so that we can live a peaceful life. Nam Mô Shakyamuni Buddha. Thank you.